Okay, we start the class.
Yeah.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to our class, Mr. Waziri. It's nice to meet you in our collaboration. Last 2 years we met in Kuala Lumpur, right?
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, but now we just meet online. But but I hope that our online meeting is the same like offline meeting. Okay.
For sure.
Before you share about your a story about early childhood in Tanzania, let me tell about you first.
Yeah,
okay? Yeah. I will share about Mr. Waziri.
Yes.
Wait. This is about, can you see my share screen?
Yeah, for sure.
Ya, teman-teman yang lain semua bisa lihat?
Bisa, Ibu.
Oke. Kelas kita hari Acok ini Indonesia first.
Yeah, no problem.
Ya. Dosen tamu kita kali ini berasal dari Tanzania. Bapak Waziri Muhammad Mapunda. Beliau adalah Senior Program Manager Early Childhood Development di Break Enterprise Tanzania Limited atau BETL. Ya, Break Enterprise ini seperti kayak kita punya apa itu? Saya mau ngomongnya apa? Kalau kita bilangnya yayasan. Aduh, saya kok jadi bingung mau ngomongnya ya. Ya pokoknya itu ya. Jadi swasta lah gitu, berdasarkan dari luar dapat ininya. Nah, sekarang saya sharing sedikit tentang Tanzania. Kalau kita lihat map, Tanzania itu ada di sini nih, di benua Afrika. Kita di sini ya, Indonesia. Jadi Tanzania itu jauh, lumayan ya jauhnya. Jadi kita harus menyeberang benua India untuk sampai ke Tanzania. Kita beda waktunya 4 jam dengan Tanzania. Mr. Waziri.
Yes.
We have different 4 hours. You 4 hours ahead from Jakarta, right?
Yeah. From here, from Tanzania to Jakarta.
Yeah. So you, what time in Tanzania now?
It is 12 now.
Yeah, it's 12. Ya, kita jadi kita lebih duluan 4 jam dibandingkan Tanzania. Jadi sekarang kita sudah in Indonesia we are 4:30 now.
Okay, it is PM now.
Yeah.
I mean it is evening, almost evening.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is your country, Tanzania.
Yeah.
And you are from Dar es Salaam.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the flag from Tanzania, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the map of Tanzania. Yeah.
I just know about Tanzania when I was a child, not because because we are mad, but because I collect the stamp. You know that the stamp I have a stamp of Burundi, Mozambique, Kenya, Uganda. Yeah, but now the children not. I don't know, but I never see the kids now collect the stamp like we did before. Nah ini Republik Bersatu Tanzania, bahasanya Swahili. Your language Swahili. right?
Swahili, yeah. The
Yeah.
mixture, of course, almost is like the language which has been originated from the Arabic, which has like 30% of Arabic words. And also
Oh,
we have the mixture of other languages from the indigenous communities. But the Arabic, if someone knows Arabic, it's very simple for him or her to understand Swahili.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So like Indonesia, we have Malay language. So if you
yeah.
can speak Malay, you can understand if you come to Kuala Lumpur or Singapore, because Malay language is into Indonesian or Malaysian language.
Okay.
Ibu kota Dodoma,
Yeah,
but the big city is Dar es Salaam.
yeah.
Your second language is English.
Yeah, English. But also we have each society has its own language. You know, we have like 120 ethnic groups. So each group they have their own language. But Kiswahili is known to everyone in Tanzania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, ini adalah pemerintahannya Republik Presidensial. Jadi punya presiden. Sekarang presidennya Samia Suluhu.
Yeah.
Perdana Menteri.
Yeah. We have a female president after
Yeah,
they
the
died.
president.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
And Minister Kasim Majaliwa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kemerdekaan dari Britania Rayanya itu tanggal 9 Desember tahun 61.
Yeah, yeah.
Zanzibar 10 Desember 63. Bergabung. Tanzania itu berasal dari dua negara, Tanzania dan Zanzibar, and make it to be Tanzania, right?
Yeah, so it was originated after the unification of these letters. You know, Tanganyika has its own its own independence. It got in this day on this 9th December, as you said, and Zanzibar got their independence. This for 1963, it was for very few people. But the one which is known is for 12 January 1964. It's when Zanzibar got their independence. And then after independence, it means they decided to merge these countries. So they took the first three letters for Tanganyika, Tan, they took it Tan, and also they took three letters from Zanzibar. They added there, it was Tanzan, and then they took I and A. So, but the I and A are the names of someone who made these countries called Islam Ahmed. So Islam Ahmed is the one who united these mixed these the letters to form Tanzania.
Oh,
Yeah,
the history of Tanzania.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Perairan, I mean that you are landed, almost land. Ya.
Yeah, yeah.
Perairannya jadi kecil banget gitu ya. Populasinya sekitar 53.470.000. It's very different with Indonesia, big country. Yeah. Dodoma adalah ibu kota resmi, tempat kedudukan legislatif, sedangkan Dar es Salaam pusat pemerintahan secara de facto. Ya, jadi kayak Myanmar persis. Jadi kalau Myanmar itu ibu kotanya apa ya? Tapi kota yang besarnya adalah Yangon, seperti itu. Nah, di Tanzania juga seperti ini. Terus agama di Tanzania kebanyakan Islam, ya 35%, agama tradisional Afrikanya 31%, Kristen 31%. So you have three religion in Tanzania.
Yeah.
This is the mountain Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro.
Yeah. In Indonesia, shining mountain, ya. Bilangnya bercahaya gitu, atau dulu disebutnya Kaiser ya. Terus gunung ini adalah salah satu gunung tertinggi di dunia ya, yang terdiri dari bebas tingginya sampai 4.600 oks. Terus puncak Kilimanjaro sekaligus merupakan puncak tertinggi di Afrika dengan ketinggian 5.895 meter. Jadi walaupun kebanyakan adalah dataran rendah, tapi salah satu gunung di Tanzania ini merupakan gunung tertinggi juga di Afrika. Nah ini suhu di sana, kita bisa lihat suhunya ekstrim ya, tadi seperti yang disampaikan oleh Pak Waziri, kadang-kadang bisa sampai 40 derajat Celcius, tapi kadang-kadang bisa rendah sekali. Tapi pada umumnya rata-rata 32. Ya, nggak terlalu panas ya, sebenarnya sama juga kayak kita. Nah ini BRAC. Jadi Pak Waziri ini asalnya adalah institusinya dari BRAC. BRAC ini sudah cukup lama di Tanzania, ya. Nanti Pak Waziri akan bercerita kalau BRAC ini yayasan apa ya? Kok saya jadi lupa ya menyebutinnya. Tujuannya itu adalah tidak ada kemiskinan, terus kualitas pendidikan yang bagus, kesetaraan gender, banyak sekali tujuannya di sini, dan Pak Waziri ini bergerak di bidang early childhood education atau pendidikan anak usia dininya. Ini break masih. I will show you that I have searching about your early childhood education. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, this is. What is Relate International?
Pardon?
This is video from Relate International.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Ini gurunya.
But it is voiceless.
Yeah. You know this area?
No, not. Proceed, I think I know where it is.
Yeah, Relate International.
Yeah, I know the place. I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. And it looks like very hot there.
Pardon?
It looks like a very hot there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and I have one video about the dance of Tanzania.
Traditional.
Yeah, traditional dance. This
Yeah.
is traditional music and dance. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
but they've modified like guitars, but it is almost traditional.
The music like
They are dancing together.
this traditional dance.
Yeah, traditional dance. We almost every tribe has its own traditional dance, but they are some of them are very popular than others. Yeah, like the Maasai jumps, so every ethnic group will have its own traditional dance.
Oh, go up, like that. Your have been so in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, the one which we share, we show you that there, but we showed you very few among the many. There are so many, and the others they need time maybe to prepare. It was just there because the number of those who were there, but we have many of them, yeah.
So many of traditional dance at your country.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I can share your PowerPoint and then you talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. Wait. This is yours.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Waziri. This is the time is yours now. So you can share about early childhood education in Tanzania.
Yeah. So let us let us go to the second slide so that I can start. Yes. So these are our agendas, my colleagues. I think I have only having the sisters. I don't have brothers on your side.
You don't have a brothers here because our class is all of our class are girls.
Even us here in Tanzania, the motivation for the men and the girls, men to start early childhood is very difficult. Even me, it was very difficult for me to take this one. But now I'm very happy to be among the specialists in early childhood. So first of all, we have the 5 agendas, as you see on the screen. We have introduction, and then presentation, conclusion, question and answers, as well as closure. So in introduction, I have to introduce myself. First of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How is Jakarta?
Ayo, jawab.
I think it is fine. Yes, my name is Waziri Mohammed Mapunda. I'm working with the Black Enterprises Tanzania. I'm the Senior Program Manager, Early Childhood Education and Development here in Tanzania. I'm a specialist in early childhood. I have a bachelor in early childhood, and also I'm taking masters in education in administration, planning, and policy studies. So my sister, dear Andika Sari, we are together in Malaysia in 2018. We met 2 times, and we stayed together almost 2 to 3 weeks. We discussed a lot, we shared information, and from that angle, we started to come together. We are still in one room, especially in the early childhood field. So I'm very happy to meet you. You're welcome. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Wait.
Yeah, you just go. Yes. So it is brief about the history of early childhood in Tanzania. As you know that Tanzania was colonized by four colonialists. So we are colonized by the Arabs, Portuguese, German, and British. So each of the colonialists established its own educational system. So we are talking about the Arabs. They had their own way of educating children. For example, Arabs, they established madrasas to teach moral and Islamic education, especially in the coastal part of Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam and the other regions, and also in Zanzibar. So the Arabs captured only the coastal part of Tanzania during their colonization. And then it followed by other colonialists like Portuguese, also covered only at the coastal part. Also, they introduced their own way of educating young children. Also, others like German and the British do the same through their churches. So they educated children through churches, especially during the Sunday schools. They were the schools organized to be conducted during the Sundays. So children were collected into the churches and they were given education about different things relating to Christianity and the European culture. Yes. Next slide.
Next slide.
Yeah. Yeah, the brief history, the history of early childhood in Tanzania after independence now. So here we are talking about the history of early childhood after we got independence. As you know that Tanzania, as I told you in our first discussion, that the word Tanzania has been originated by the unification of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. So Tanganyika got her independence in 1961, and Zanzibar got her independence in 1964 in January. So after there, the unification of Tanganyika and Zanzibar led to the emergence of Tanzania. So after the birth of Tanzania, the motivation for all the demand for having early childhood was very high due to the factor that the first president of Tanzania, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, made education compulsory to all people in Tanzania. So the development started there. But between 1965 and 1970, the government of United Republic of Tanzania started to, the motivation to educating their children. So the children who were taking that time, they were from 5 years old and above. So the children from 5 years old were supposed to be taken to attend the early childhood education. But in early childhood of that time, it was called just a pre-primary attending pre-primary education. And also they had a curriculum to teach those children. So between 1980 and the 1990s, Tanzania started to develop and include early childhood in the national education curriculum. And also in 1964, I mean 2004, it's where now we had another ECD, another policy where early childhood was part of field to be given priority by the Tanzanian government. So it was now another compulsory that every child should be taken to school. So it was just to ensure that this policy of 2014 was to ensure that every child was given an opportunity to go and attend the school. So it is a very brief history of early childhood. Yeah, we can go to another slide.
Okay.
So, but if I'm going faster, you can tell me so that I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can minimize my speed. Now let us come to the basic concepts of early childhood. We can discuss about what is early childhood curriculum, how is it? So we can discuss in deep about the issue of curriculum. On our understanding is that when we're talking about curriculum, we are talking about as a philosophy, as a program, as an approach, or a set of ideas and activities that are planned to be offered to children to guide their behavioral growth and development and interact with the real world situation. So in ECD, when you're talking about curriculum, we mean the philosophy. For example, like the philosophy of Maria Montessori, the high scope philosophy, like another philosophy like Reggio Emilia philosophy. So those philosophies are like curriculum. So curriculum is in ECD is a philosophy, a program, or an approach, or a set of pieces and the activities that planned to be offered to children. So you have planned to do something to children, that is also a part of curriculum. In that curriculum should stick on the behavioral growth and development, and the child should be able to interact with the real world situation. The real world, I mean the world around the child, him or herself. What around the child. So here we can say in short that the thing which should be taught to the children should also be familiar, should not be something from which are not existing to his or her society. So they are supposed to be somewhere where you can see the child is able to learn. So it's something like that. It comprises various things like with knowledge and skills and to be acquired in the educational program and the plan of experience through children learn. So the early childhood should provide knowledge and the skills to the teachers to enable them to teach. So in ECD curriculum, that curriculum should also direct the teacher what he or she should do while teaching or preparing the lesson to the children or facilitate children to learn. So that is about the ECD curriculum. And the children be able to learn, play through indoor and outdoor activities or environment. So we are here in ECD. Also another focus is indoor and outdoor activities. I think you are very aware about indoor and outdoor. Indoor, those activities which are done within the classroom, but the outdoors are those which are done outside the classrooms, like playgrounds, like swings, like seesaw, like everything that can be done outside the class are called outdoor activities. And for you, specialist for early childhood, you must be competent in both indoor and outdoor activities. You have to know how to facilitate learning through indoor and outdoor activities. So you'll be confident or capable enough to teach early childhood grades or early childhood classes. Another slide. Yeah, so the component for early childhood education. So the component. So here we can say the best early childhood curriculum should compose or should support the child holistically. So early childhood should focus on holistic child development. We are not concentrating on one aspect. In early childhood, we are focusing on all domains or holistic development. It means that the curriculum should support 5 domains or areas. Which are those areas? The first one is physical development. So the curriculum should have things to ensure the child is developing physically. Physical development, we are talking about the increase of weight and height of a child. So the increase of weight and height should also be focused in the curriculum. So the increase of weight and height, physical development, the way the child is seen physically. So the curriculum should also focus on that. Another thing, let me repeat here, in physical, when we're talking about this one, so the curriculum should have some activities to ensure that the child is developing physically. For example, sports and the games. They can develop a child physically. So in composing a curriculum, you must concentrate also in physical development aspect. Another one is social development. When we're talking about social development, we mean children learn to interact. So children have to learn to interact with others around them, like his peers, his colleagues, relatives, neighbors, other people within that particular community. He has also to distinguish between a friend and a father, between a parent and the other kids, between teachers and other people who are not teachers. So the child also has to interact and know how to distinguish people in the society, or the child also to understand whom one are around him or around her. So that is also another aspect. Another one is education, emotional development, emotional. So in emotional development, this involves learning what feelings and emotions are, understanding how and why they occur, recognizing your own feelings and those of others. So the child should have like something like sympathy and empathy. Should say sorry. For example, when they make mistake, they have to say sorry. They have to say thank you. You see? So this also is developed within this one. Also something like happiness should have to be competent enough to distinguish between happiness and sorrowness or sadness. So the curriculum should also focus in this angle here. Another one is cognitive development. Cognitively, it means the knowledge now, imparting the knowledge to understand things and to keep them in a practical life. So it involves, when you're talking about cognitive, we mean children, how a child perceives, think, and again understand of his or her world through the interaction and the genetic and the learned factors. So this one also we have to concentrate to make child understanding, like for example, teach them about the part of the world is just there. They have to understand it, and it should be appearing in their cognitive, in their brains. They have to understand and they have to not because we don't have any changes for the part of the world. We have north, east, south, west. So the child must have to master those skills, to count, to mention letters, to read letters, to know the names of animals and things around him. Those are cognitive aspects. Greetings. So those are just cognitive aspects. And the last one is language development. This is very, very important, language development. And in language development, we can develop language using different approaches, by talking with them. But the children have their self languages. Before you being taught by a teacher, the child, they have their own languages within their innate. So for us as a specialist, we need to groom to the language which we want them to have or to use their in their daily life. So we have to ensure that we focus also in language development. So in language development, what is advised much in early childhood? They say it is better to start with the language which is known by the child. It means the mother tongue should be the first one to be considered in teaching young children. Don't start teaching a child to the language which he or she doesn't understand. Start with the language which is common to the child, so that you can go now to another language which is understood, which you want him or her to master. We are getting the challenges for most of the countries, like our country, even I think Indonesia, you are doing the same thing. For example, we have been colonized by the colonialists. We are still using the colonial languages to teach the child, while we are having our own languages which are understood by the children. So it is becoming something difficult for you to give them the knowledge and the skills. So, for example, in Swahili is known to many people, but you are not using Swahili in the educational aspect, especially for the private. We are using English.
Oh.
But we are supposed to use Kiswahili because Kiswahili is very popular.
So,
yes.
Sorry. So you're using English in education.
Actually, English is used in public schools. English is only used as a subject for primary schools, but it is for all schools. I mean, for all subjects in secondary school, for both private and public schools. But for the private schools, most of them, they are using English for the primary and for the pre-primary, primary, and the secondary school. So something it is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Yeah.
I understand now why your English is better.
Yeah, we are trying. We are just trying. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So next slide. Next slide.
This one?
Okay, this one. The Tanzanian Early Childhood Education Curriculum. So according to the Education and Training Policy, the current policy, the Early Childhood Education Curriculum in Tanzania has shifted from objective and knowledge-based in competence-based learning. So at the first time, because we are having the policy of Tanzania in 1995, the teachers were supposed to teach objectively and knowledge-based. It means teachers were the master of the lessons. It means we are the one to initiate lessons and also to ensure that the child is just seated there and getting materials. But now we have shifted. The policy for 2014, it shifted. the idea from knowledge-based to competence-based. It means competence-based, you have one activity sometimes. So you are bringing that activity to the class, and the class will be open to both teachers, to both the teacher and the kid, to ensure that that lesson is being obtained, is being achieved. So in in the competence-based learning, what is advised is for the teacher to be open-minded and the children also to be open-minded within the same room, and they discuss together. At the end of the day, the children understand the basic of the lesson or understand the lesson in deep, but not the teacher to concentrate in teaching without considering or hearing from the students. So competence-based is an education approach to children that focus on students' demonstration, as you have said. So you have to give opportunity for the children to demonstrate what they know about the subject, about the topic that you are going to teach. Not the matter of you to teach children without getting their knowledge, getting to know their background, about the thing that you want to teach. So in competence-based learning, the current one, we are focusing only on listening the children and to understand their knowledge and the skills about the topic that we are teaching the kids. So it is something like that. It is called like a child-centered approach. This one is called a child-centered approach.
Yeah, child-centered approach.
Yeah. Next slide. Now let us see the early childhood education curriculum subject in Tanzania. So here in Tanzania, we are the ECD curriculum. I think it has like it has like 6 competencies. So here we are not having subjects in a competence-based learning. We are only having competencies, not subjects. Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
We are not calling them like subjects. We are calling competencies.
Competencies.
So competencies. We have 6 competencies. The first competence is called the environmental conservation. So the children are taught how to conserve environment, how they can plant trees, how can they can protect themselves from pollution, how are they supposed not to pollute the environment. So environmental conservation, it is one of the things, the competence which the child have to understand. Another is child health care, about personal care, about cleaning the body, washing clothes, how to keep away from the dangerous insects, like hazardous things, how to keep themselves away about the thing like diseases, how to cross the road using the zebra and so on. So this one also the child have to be given things to understand. Another thing, relationship between themselves and the other, respecting themselves, respecting the adults, So those relationship between themselves and the teachers and their peers and their parents, respects and so on. So these are also another competence. Also, we have another competence is communication. Here we are talking about language, medium of communication, like nowadays we are, hello? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we have communication, like communication media. Nowadays we have mobile phones. So the things which are used for them to communicate, for the people to communicate. So the children have to understand those things. You have to understand those things, medium of communication, how to communicate, how to greet people, how to say sorry. So those ones. Another one is mathematics, about numbers, arithmetic, counting, calculating, mathematical science, they are taught also. The last one is arts and creation. So about drawing, about the cultural things like dancing and whatever they are being taught there. About another thing like sports, they are taught here in sports and creation. Yeah. Another slide.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, tips for early childhood education in Tanzania: public schools versus private schools. So this is very important for all of us to understand. Yeah, the first tip is that the age group of children is 3 years old, according to the policy, the current policy. They say the child for 3 years can be taken to pre-primary school. Can be taken to pre-primary school. And then from 5, the child will be allowed to enter or to join grade 1 child. So in pre-primary, what is given is the knowledge will be given for 1 year. And then if he masters those skills given in pre-primary, the child will be given an opportunity to join grade 1. But if not, will be extended to another year. So she will remain there in pre-primary if the child doesn't master those skills. So she will be there for almost another 1 year. And then if she's not mastering, also you have to allow him or her to proceed until he reached the age of 7, where she must start grade 1.
Pardon,
so that,
brother,
yeah, yes.
Can I ask you about the number, the first? You mean that the children have a test when he or she will get to primary school?
Aaron, I didn't get you clearly at the beginning.
Did you mean that your children in Tanzania get a test to take a placement test into a primary school?
Yeah, from 5 years, if he masters the pre-primary skills, he will be given opportunity to start grade 1, I mean in the primary school. But if not, he or she will be given another opportunity to continue remaining in pre-primary for another 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
And if she reaches 7 years, but not mastered the skills in pre-primary, the curriculum, I mean the policy allows that child to proceed with the grade 1, because other things which are here in pre-primary are also taught in grade 1, in pre-primary 1. Yes.
If she or he already 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Another one, in the public schools, most of the teachers teaching early childhood classes are those completed grade 1, grade A. Here in Tanzania, we have grade A. It means someone who is going to take grade A is the one who have completed Form 4 in secondary education. And he has the pass of Division 3. So that one is allowed to take a certificate, teaching certificate for 2 years. For 2 years. And then those teachers in colleges are taught different things. They are taught on how to teach grade 1, but very little. but they are much taught on how to teach primary schools. Are you getting the point there? Can I repeat there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying, in public schools, most of the teachers who are teaching in early childhood educational classes are those who have completed grade A teaching certificate.
Yeah.
Are you getting there?
Yeah.
Now, yes.
Yeah.
So in grade A, while they were in the colleges, they are taught how to teach from early grades, early childhood classes, until middle and the upper primary classes. They are taught in all levels, without considering that early childhood has its own fundamentals. Are you getting there?
Yeah.
But now they are trying in some areas, especially for the private, they want someone who is teaching in early childhood grades is the one with a certificate for early childhood. For example, in our 5 schools, which we have already established for early childhood here, what we are doing, we are just employing teachers who qualified early childhood education, who completed early childhood education, not primary education. Yeah. But in government schools, because they don't have all that system, what they use is to use the same teacher who can teach grade 1, grade 2, grade up to grade 7, is taken even sometimes to come and teach early childhood class. Understood there?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another, in all public schools, there is early childhood establishment established under the same management system. So here in Tanzania, what we have in public schools, we only have early childhood classes within the particular primary school. So in each primary school, there is a class for early childhood. And it is under the same management of that particular school. So we don't have a separate public early childhood class, early childhood school. Whenever there is a primary school, public primary school, there is an additional class for early childhood education. Something like that, which is very, very difficult. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
Now, curriculum for the public schools, Kiswahili language is taught in early grades. So they are teaching using Kiswahili. But most of these private schools, they are using English as the medium of instruction to early grades in those schools. Yeah.
But you have more private school than public school, right?
No, actually public schools, there are so many.
Oh, you have many public schools.
Yeah, but the issue of like ECD centers, many people are establishing formally or informally daycare centers. There are so many, especially in towns, like here in Dar es Salaam, we have very many. If everywhere you pass, you may find there is a daycare center, but not maybe formally recognized by the government. They are just established. Yeah. So even the policy itself is not limiting people to establish these early childhood centers. Yeah, that's why we have very many, but in town. But if you go countryside, we can't get enough. Only the government ones are the ones which are existing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are different from the point.
Okay.
Yeah, because in Indonesia we have 98% is private school and only 2% public school.
Very many.
Yeah.
You are doing the most in LHLD, I mean in private schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any question up to there, or you'll ask during the question and answer session?
Ada yang mau nanya nggak sampai sini?
Aku Ibu.
Iya, silakan Rosmi.
Mau nanya terkait kenapa sih Mr. Umi bisa tertarik sama PAUD gitu Bu, kayak laki-laki itu kan langka ya di kalangan pendidikan anak usia dini, terlebih di Tanzania ini. Kenapa dia bisa benar-benar tertarik itu dengan pendidikan anak usia dini?
Brother,
tolong Ibu ditranslatein.
Brother.
Yes.
My student's name, her name is Rosmi. She asked you why you looks very interesting with early childhood education, as we know that in Indonesia, very little men interested with early childhood education. So we can say that only a few teacher was a man. So why you very interested with early childhood education?
Yeah, thank you. The best question I can say. Yes, so on myself, I didn't even choose this course when I was selecting the courses for going to take my bachelor degree, but it happened. The course which I chose, I was not chosen. So it was not. I was choosing to teach maybe secondary school, but they changed my admission to early childhood education. So at the beginning, it was very hard. Like one week at the beginning at the college was very hard. But at the end of the day, I came to realize that this is the best course for me. And also I was interested from that point of view. So at the first time, I didn't have, the love of it. But after studying this course, I knew that this is the best course for me to take. And actually, it's the best. Yeah.
So now you have a kid?
And yes.
You have a kid also?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yeah, and also here in Tanzania, you know, like in Indonesia, very few men are taking early childhood course.
Yeah.
Very few. Yeah, very few. Like we were 120 students, 104 students, but men were almost 25. The rest were ladies. Very few.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm very happy to work in early childhood.
Ya Rosmi, jadi tadinya tuh bukan di PAUD, terus lulus tes, taunya dipindahin ke PAUD gitu. Tapi lama-lama beliau merasa sreg dan cocok gitu dengan PAUD. Gitu Rosmi.
Terima kasih banyak Bu.
Yeah. Thank you, brother, she said.
Okay. We can proceed. Another slide.
Yeah.
Now, assessment of the children. So there are different ways of assessing techniques to young children in both private and government or public schools in Tanzania. We have almost the same way of assessing the children. The first one is formative evaluation or assessment. Teachers used to conduct in progress evaluation of student comprehension, learning needs and the academic progress during a lesson. So this formative evaluation is done while the teacher is teaching the same class. After the end of the lesson, is going to conduct formative evaluation. Formative assessment. Another one is individual child assessment. So here it means assessing one by one during assessing one by one child during semi-annual and the annual exams and get to know their progress, which help a teacher to feel the result obtained in the official assessment sheets. So it means individual assessment or individual child assessment. This is done either semi-annually or annually. So at the end or at the mid and at the end of each year, the child is doing, the teacher is doing an individual child assessment. And also we have a special form for the teacher to fill in what the child has obtained in the individual assessment form. And you know that early childhood assessment is not done like in a group. You can't have a paper to be done by all children. So you have the skills so that you can measure your children one by one, and then at the end of the day, you fill the form. Because children are not going to write in like other exams. The children are not capable to do that. So you have to read the question to the teachers, to the children, and also children can answer those questions to you. And then at the end of the discussion, it's where now you put you record what the child has obtained into the special sheet you have. Is it clear there?
Brother.
Yes.
What is the mean from classroom polling? Pick the children randomly and see if are capable to do.
Yeah, this is pick up children randomly and see if. So this is just within the activity. You may say we have taught a certain activity to the children, and then you can start within the class. You can start randomly picking a child to speak something about an activity that you have teach. Yes, without having a sequence. You just say, Amina, can you say this?
Yeah.
Roshni, can you say this?
How about if the children cannot answer or cannot do what you have that we have answered to her?
So you have to find sometimes a special time for that particular child to give him or her another knowledge. And you must, here what we are doing is to ensure that the early childhood class, the teacher has to create many classes, because the shift of one activity to the other depends on how the child has mastered the first skill taught. You can't skip an activity for the child while the child didn't master some of the activity at the beginning.
So you mean that this is how we check the children, is he or is he connect your material?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Another slide if there is no question.
Okay.
Yes, setting the learning environment. So in Tanzania, what we are doing, learning environment should nurture space that support the needs of all young children. So learning environment for young children, the thing or the feature of that learning environment should nurture, should be able to care. When we're talking about nurturing, like caring, should be able to care space that support the development of all children. It means with even those with learning needs, with special needs. So the learning environment should be conducive for all children. they include classrooms. So the learning environment for young children should include classrooms, play space, so they have supposed to have a space to play. Another one area for caregiving routines like food, washing hands, caregiving. So you have somewhere like a space for that. And also outdoor areas. So I think because of time, I didn't have some pictures to demonstrate some of them. So I will share the pictures later and you'll be able to get to know what I was talking about this. So I'll be able to share the pictures of what we are doing, especially in my schools, which I'm supporting. Okay. Another, yes. Can you come back to the first slide? I didn't find some areas. Okay. Also, learning environment are well organized and managed settings. They offer development appropriate lessons and so on. Also, learning environment include age-appropriate equipment. So within the learning environment also, you have to focus on the learning equipment for young children, like toys. You have to include according to the age of children. So don't put like dolls for the children of 2 years to be used by the children of 5 years. So you have to be having like many toys of different ages for the children of different ages. You have to consider very much this. Also, home-based programs. So sometimes you have to create like home-based programs. The children to make association like cooking, teaching children how about cooking issues, preparing meal, washing the hands, hygiene during the meal. You have to master, children have to master those skills. Yes, next slide. Yeah, how the school is managed. Here, the school management for early grades. Who is the dominant, private or government schools? All the public schools are managed by the government under this umbrella of the primary school head teacher. As I've said in previous slides, that in every primary school, there is a class for early childhood under the management of the same head teacher. So the head teacher is the one who is the head of upper primary, lower primary, middle primary, and as well as early childhood class. So also in private schools, they have owned by and managed by either in ethnic religious groups, like we have the schools for Muslims, Islamic schools. Even me, I was a teacher in one of the Islamic school, Mudia Islamic. I was teaching there. And all the other schools are under the church. But the other schools are owned privately without having the umbrella for Islam or Christian. So they both they can get children from both religions. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Another slide. Now you can proceed there. You can see private schools are dominant to those owned by the government. So in dominance for early childhood in Tanzania, the one which are doing best are the schools for private owned schools. First of all, private invest much in early childhood than the government. That's why they are doing like that. I will show you some pictures. You can be able to merge between the private and the government schools. Private prepare better teaching and learning environment than the government. Also, private pays good salaries to its teachers than the government. So the teachers in private schools are paid higher than those in government. I don't know about Indonesia.
So.
They are doing also the same.
Depend on. depend on how long the teachers work, see a teacher, and we have the level of the teacher in our public school.
Okay.
So depend on what level the teacher is.
Okay. Another one, private contain more teaching and learning resources than the government. Another one, private provide more competent children than the children from the government schools. Other one, private provide intensive care, well-being, health and well-being, food, and all other required support. But in private schools, they don't offer those services because it is free. The children are learning, they are free. But here, the private, the children are charged some of the amount of money. That's why they are offered very quality services. Also, class size. In private, class size is very manageable. You can find a class of 25 to 30 kids. But in the in the public schools, you may find that in the same class, one teacher can manage 120 kids in a single class. Is very hard. Yeah. Another slide.
Is the government help the private school to give like a subsidy or like a donation to private school?
No. They are
independent.
Yeah, independent, and they are managing themselves. And you may find that in each private school has its own fee, depending on the number of services that is offered at the particular school. So they vary, even if they'll be at the same environment, but they can be different. One private school will be different with the other compared to the service and the amount of payment to be paid. Even the teachers are paid differently.
Yeah. So the quality from other is different. From private to other private is different also. The quality.
Yeah, they differ. Yes, they differ.
Okay.
Another slide. Yes, challenges facing early childhood in Tanzania. So here there is lack of an educational early childhood development policy. So we don't have a policy specifically for young children. We only have general policy, general educational policy, where we have seen that there is a lot of gaps. You may find some of the very essential things are not given a priority. So it is a very challenge, and for me, I'm doing a research on the policy, the power of policy in the provision of early childhood education in Tanzania. So we don't have a policy for that. And also poor parent participation and engagement, because of also we don't have a policy which can insist or which can tell the parents how are they supposed to engage or to participate in early childhood education. Another inadequacy of teaching and learning resources, especially in public schools. They are not having quality resources. Even in classes, they are not enough in accordance to the number. Yeah, something like that. We have very many challenges, but I've just tried to put some. Another one is presence of unqualified or unprofessional teachers in most of the schools, especially in private schools. I mean, in public schools. As I've said that, teachers who are teaching in the lower grades, I mean in the early childhood, for the government schools, are the one who were supposed to teach in other grades. So it is very difficult. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But we need to have special people who have been specialized in early childhood, like in private schools they are doing. That's why I needed to complete my policy, the research, so that maybe to see a possibility for the government to make some reforms, especially to ensure that it is having a policy like other countries like Kenya, Uganda, South Africa. They have the policy for young children. Why not Tanzania is a big country? We don't have that policy. So I'm doing that. Yeah. So the last one is early childhood education is taken as a business. Hence, most of the poor people cannot afford it, and their children are not given quality education, early childhood education service. So it is a business now in Tanzania.
Yeah, you mean that private school is a business now?
Yeah, it's a business. So it's something very, 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 very dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes. So it is the end of my presentation. So I welcome questions, because we have a question for, the session for question and answers. So the room now is open for all of you attendants.
Okay. Baik. Thank you very much, brother, for your explanation about early childhood education in Tanzania. So now we have time to question and answer. Mungkin teman-teman ada yang mau bertanya, jangan malu-malu ya. Silakan.
Saya mau tanya, Ibu.
Sebentar.
I think there is one question here.
Yeah.
Nadia Camila said, I like to ask you, are all public schools the same? Are there any good public schools like private schools? So the answer, thank you very much for the question. The answer is no. The quality, the private and the public schools are not the same, due to the factor that the private schools are the best compared to those of government. Due to the funding, the government giving little support to early childhood grades. You may find even the quality of the classes. I will share you the pictures for the private public schools, and in accordance to the private schools, you can compare yourself, due to the factor that public funding, the public schools are given little amount of money. But for the private, because it is a business, that's why they're investing a lot of money there. Even the environment, teaching resources, quality of teachers, and service in general is very high compared to that of government. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Another question?
Ada pertanyaan nggak? Ini saya lagi bermasalah. I have a problem with my laptop, so I cannot see you. Maybe teman-teman ada yang mau bertanya?
Me, sir.
Atika. Oh, udah, sekarang bisa lihat. Atika.
Okay, Mister, I'm curious about how long student learning in a day. And there's another activity after class, maybe take a course or something like that.
Yes, proceed please. I didn't get you clearly.
Ulang lagi, Tika.
Okay, I'm curious about how long student learning in a day. And there's another activity after class, maybe take some course or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. Almost according to the government, the child for early grades is supposed to be there for 5 hours. 5 hours. After 5 hours, the child has to go home. But in the private schools, they are taking children from morning to evening, because most of the people who are taking their children to private schools are the ones who are working some of the places where they can not manage to come during the afternoon to pick their kids. So they are coming maybe late during the evening, is where now they can come, they can visit the school and pick the kids. So that's why it is something like that. But for the all government schools, it is ending 11. At 11, the children are supposed to leave the room. I mean, to leave the school.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Another question? Is that clear?
Another question? Another question?
Yes, Diza.
It is really nice to meet you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity to fill in with today's class. Okay, I have a question, maybe, but I think this question have a answer for the last slide. My question is, are there any difficulties in introducing and making early childhood education there? And then what about the parents there? What are their views on early education for their children?
Okay. I didn't get you clearly. Can you start with the first question? I think you were breaking. I didn't get you clearly. I think there was a challenge somewhere. Yes.
So my question is, are there any difficulties in introducing and making early childhood education there? And what about the parents there? What are their views on early education center for their children?
Maksudnya partisipasi orang tua gitu, Disa?
Pandangan orang tuanya terhadap early childhood education untuk anak-anak mereka gitu, Bu.
What is the parents' opinion about the early childhood education in your country?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, the opinions for the parent, it means the views of parents. Most of the parents, especially in rural, they are taking it as something not necessary. You may find that they are not seeing that it is important for the children to learn, but what they prefer is for their children to start grade 1. But in urban centers, parents are conscious and they see there is a need for their children to be taken to schools, and also they are ready to support there. And why are the parents seeing that it is not important? Some of those who think they are thinking of that only children in early childhood, they are only playing. But for us, we say play is something. Yeah, is something for them to learn. Play is not a play; is just a serious work for ourselves as a specialist. But for the parent, they say, my child is just playing, so I'm not taking her or him to school.
Yeah.
So because of that notion, yes. So there is a need for us also to continue pushing parents to see it is important for them to take their kids to school.
Yeah, I understand. Sama ya seperti Indonesia, sepertinya teman-teman ya. We have the same opinion in Indonesia also. Still, many parents think the same, like what you say. What are you doing in this kindergarten? Just play, so you can play at home. Something like that. But so we have so many homework to shifted the opinion from that play is not important for the children, but play is very, very important for the children, right? So we have to shift their opinion.
Yeah.
And that's not easy.
Yeah, not easy. And for me, what I want to do, maybe in the future, my plan is to ensure that maybe for the mosques, we can have like in madrasas,
Yeah.
we can have like plays initiated in the madrasas, because you may find that children nowadays, especially for the Muslim communities, they are not happy to go for the madrasa, because in madrasa they are not playing. So it's better for us to focus in ensuring that madrasa is very having those things for the children to be attracted with, like plays. So also the madrasa teacher can support children to play. At the end of the day, most of the children will be going there. So something like I want to do this because I've seen a gap. Many children nowadays are not happy to go to the madrasas. Yeah. Because our focus is just teaching them about Arabic and the thing, but we can teach them very simple by using the play.
Yeah.
So I have this. I can write something and also I will share with you so that you can support me to broaden the mind for that.
Yeah. That's very hard working to that we can change the way of think the parents, that the children, the world of children is playing.
Yeah.
Study is playing for the children.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Questions?
Ada pertanyaan lagi, teman-teman? Ada pertanyaan lagi nggak? Okay. I think because in Jakarta now it's Maghrib time. So my students just quiet because the azan.
I think I know that they are very tired. Since morning they are waiting for the lecture. So, but unfortunately, I got some technical challenges. But I'm happy that today I got the opportunity to talk to you. Yeah. But I'm very, very happy to meet you all of you, Nadia and the rest of the group. So I welcome you also in Tanzania to come and see what you are doing. Okay. So if possible, I think I will also share with you the pictures which I have said that I will share for you so that you can be able to measure what I have said and what you have seen directly, so that maybe they can be able to do comparison. Yeah. And also maybe you can also share my details, like if someone has questions, she can find me anytime, so I'll be able to support. If you want to know more about early childhood in Tanzania practices, you are warmly welcome. But I have to encourage you as students who are taking early childhood, it is the best course, and also it has a lot of opportunities, especially for the third world countries like our countries. So it's your opportunity to ensure that you have this course. If possible, you can go up, like you can have like a master's, like a PhD for that, so that you can have enough understanding and also enough opportunities. Because when you study more, it's where now you attract more opportunities to come to you. And also
maybe my students will come to your country and be a teacher there.
Yeah, they're welcome. I welcome them, no problem. Yeah, I welcome them, no problem. Okay. Yeah, so because what we know that early childhood is global. It's not done like other fields. The other field, when you have this knowledge, you can't impact it to other place. But knowledge. For example, in Tanzania, we have teachers from outside Tanzania, like in Uganda, Kenya. They are coming to here and they are doing best because it is just the same thing. It is not something which is just contextual. It is a global thing. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, my brother Waziri. It's very nice that we can take your share about Tanzania early childhood education. Wish that someday we can meet and chit chat, and you can share in a real class. Maybe if maybe you can go to Jakarta. Just call me, and then we have a meeting with our students, or maybe you can come to my faculty, and then we can make another occasion. Okay, now let's take a picture together.
Okay.
Please open your video, sister.
Others.
Husna, Sarsa, Fatima, Chitra.
Others are sleeping because it is night.
Yeah, it's already 6 o'clock here. Okay.
So here it's 2.
Yeah.
Almost 2.
Okay.
For us.
1, 2, 3. Okay, wait. Tika, abis ini kamu yang ngambil ya, Tik?
Okay, Bu.
Okay, Tik. One more. Bukan satu ya.
1, 2, 3. Another slide.
Oh, ada berapa slide?
Ada 2, Ibu.
Oh,
Okay, done.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you, Tika. Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much
for your sharing in our class. See you.
Okay,
Bye.
see you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Mister.
Thank you, Mister. Thank you, Budia.
Thank you, Widya. See you.
Bye. I close the Mr. Waziri. Wait, we can talk. We can talk berdua.
Okay. Yeah.
Yang lain boleh leave.
Okay.
Okay.